You've said throughout your career, it's all about adjustments in the postseason. What did you guys do after game one to get this result in game two?
We understood that it was a playoff game. I think that's the difference.
So much that you have to put into it on both ends. Can you take me through that play, though? You have a turnover, and Anthony Edwards has the ball at midcourt. Where did you see you were going to be able to step in there, get the ball, and finish?
Just trying to make a play. That was a big possession right there. They had numbers. I didn't think he saw me, in the rear view, so I was able to jump the pass lane and also make the layup.
You guys put a lot into it defensively, LeBron. What was the key on that end, and where did it come from the collective as a unit?
I mean, that's what it's going to take. They play hard as hell. We got to play hard as hell. They play with a lot of intensity. We got to match their intensity. So, I mean, it's going to be like this all series.
What are you starting to learn about Luka in a playoff context as a teammate as you guys grow in that way?
Nothing. I've watched it for 7 years, so nothing at all. Luka is Luka.
Last one for you. Key as you head now fly to Minnesota for game 3 and 4.
Hostile environment, but we got to come in with the same mindset as we had tonight. Understanding it's a playoff game. No possessions we can take off. We got to play with intensity, energy, and effort. You're not dog-ass tired after this game. After any of these games, then you didn't give it all you had. So that's what it's about.
All right, go get some rest.
All right, big game. JJ said the same thing you did earlier on this show. The Lakers have been one of the most physical teams in the league this year. Do you expect to see them come out and kind of make a statement early and try to be a little more physical? And what he said, organized, because he brought up a great point, James. You're 15 seconds left on the clock and you got 3 guys, crossing half court. You just can't have that.
I do expect the Lakers to come out and play the way they know they can play. And that's, physical, that's good defense, paying attention to the details. When they do that, and when they get multiple people involved, more predictable, get some fast breaks going, steals, things of that nature. When Vanderbilt and Vinny Smith and those guys are active hands on the defensive end, getting in front of people, not giving, straight line layups, uncontested shots. So many uncontested shots. That's unlike the Lakers, and I'm just going to, give it to game 1 of a 7-game series, having time off, something they haven't had in such a long time. They got a little flat during that time off. I know JJ practiced them hard and had them prepared, but sometimes when you just don't have that playing time, sometimes you lose it, especially when a team like Minnesota comes in and they bounce on you hard with their physicality. You got to match that.
In big game, when you look at a team like Minnesota who has some youth, but they have a guy like Ant who's not afraid to talk, they feel good right now. They're cocky. That means they're dangerous. You got to take it to that team. You have to take away some of that confidence. The Lakers have to find the matchups that work and punish it.
You say what you want to about Ant Edwards. I don't like some of his, off the court things that he does, but he does have swagger, and that swagger has spread throughout the team. Nas, usually a quiet guy, all of a sudden you see him elevated. Jaden, those guys, they live off of that. And so it is contagious. It's contagious on the bench. When you get the bench involved, our bench has to be involved. They have to give that same type of energy to our players who are on the floor. So the playoffs is about the totality of things. What you're doing on the floor, your mentality as a team, and how that shows up at game time.
And big game, you had mentioned this too about the wide open threes. They do that NBA stat. They said they were 27 attempts. They were actually wide open, which means the defender's 6 feet away. They made 19 of those. So I'm sure early on, maybe a key, you'll be looking at how are they closing out, how active they are defensively.
Yeah, a lot of them uncontested, and then a lot of them were just, just like wide open. So yeah, they got to do a better job of rotating. They got to do a better job of communicating. And I know they know how to do it. They just ran a little flat, a little sleepy.
Big game. Let's go get it tonight. Great job. It's always fun being down here with you.
It's a must.
Three ball versus the Lakers there in game 1. Biggest takeaway, guys, when you look at this graphic, how they were getting the shot. Of their 42 attempts, which they hit 50% of them, all were classified as either open or even better. Wide open.
Wide open, Alex.
That is something that must change going into game 2. I think the team knew. Time for Big Shots Breakdown, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
Good time.
We're going to take this energy that we're feeling from you to the wall to break that down.
The good times was not had in game 1. I say that. And because of their
said lightly.
because of what they do defensively, killed them. Meaning that they're so busy trying to help one another defensively, nobody wants to stay at home. This play, you got Nas Reed, and now you got a penetration right here by McDaniels. Now you got Julius Randle. Julius Randle, of course, he's a bull in a China, but you playing against a bull. Why are you helping that much, Vando? You don't need to help. Now you got a guy who was hotter than a firecracker, like we said in the Dirty South, hotter than fish grease. You give him a wide open three. You can't give that. And now this, the pick and roll, we're switching. Make them uncomfortable. He can just do what he wants to do. Those by look, that's 1, 2, 3 guys helping. We don't need 3 guys helping on one guy. Get your defensive rotation. Now LeBron digs. Where you going, LeBron? You keep a foot on the block, and then you can get out here to Julius Randle, and you got to contest these shots. Bam, Julius Randle anything. Now, back to one-on-one with Luka up top. Now, if you're going to do this, it's okay. Come up here and trap this down, but you don't. You waiting and looking. Now you out discombobulated wherever everybody. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 5 guys with feet in the paint. Look, bam, Julius Randle. Look at that space. Hell, I could have knocked that down. Look, now, bam. So you got to understand this. Everybody's trying to help. Designate one person. Say, hey, you're the helper. Help out. But I get it. Defense is a team-oriented thing sometimes. But in this game 1, they help way too much, Allie Clifton.
Great breakdown there, and I'm glad that you channeled your emotions. I expected a little bit more anger, but
it was
even
about
keel.
to. I didn't want to, though.
Yeah, even kill. I can feel it. Maybe you'll save it for the post game in a better way. Julius Randle, by the way, 41% versus the Lakers in 4 meetings this season. It wasn't just Julius, though, Brez, as we know. It was everyone hitting the 3-ball. 50% they were from downtown. How about Jaden McDaniels? Not only was he 11 of 13 from the floor, he was 3 of 3. Just 11% from deep was Jaden in the month of April.
I mean, he had a really good mid-season, I would say. Bunch of injuries for the Timberwolves forced him to be a scorer, Rob, and he responded well. But then he started to roll down a little bit, going back into just a defense-only kind of guy. And Allie, I didn't realize he was that poor from behind the arc in April. I knew he didn't have many great games. But, yeah, he found his stroke quickly. And Julius Randle, to me, is the X factor in this series. All right, Rob? Look, he can be a little inefficient with the ball. He was very inefficient with the ball the other night. 7 turnovers. But what he was nice at was shooting 3. I mean, if you're Julius Randle, you're hitting 50% or better from three-point range. You will take that all day, every day. Bottom line, the Lakers, who've been doing well as far as being close or beating teams in total points behind the arc on a game-by-game basis, they slid back to what they were really the last several years, not being a good three-point shooting team and continually getting outscored behind the arc by the opponent.
See, for me, these are one of the reasons when you end the season where you're not playing guys and you've taken this time off, little things that have been rearing their ugly head and you don't correct them in game situations. Everybody knows, we practice. Practice and games aren't the same thing. Mm-hmm. This is a result right here where you don't do your principles like you're supposed to. You don't be on the line. You don't communicate right because you think, okay, we have the game plan. We went over this in practice. You're not going to run the plays like Minnesota runs it. You don't have an Ant-Man on your team that can be explosive like that. So there's little things like that that you have to prepare for